episode 2.2. Enjoy the next piece where we break down a couple more college options for athletes ranging from Division 2, Division 3, and more.
Let's just kind of go through Division 2 real quick. And NAIA, that's one that Jake didn't bring up, but it's another option, the NAIA conference, which has a little bit more lax academic requirements than the NCAA. So that's an option for athletes that are maybe need a little bit different academic setting. Those are good schools for that. But let's talk D2 real quick. Coach Peter, you coached at Queens. You know a little bit about the D2 world. Can you speak briefly on what that's like? And
so being a part of a Division II program, and now Queens is Division I, but when I was there, we were Division II. It was a smaller school. The championship meet for Division II is a combined meet, men and women. It's a 4-day meet. For distance swimmers, you're offered a fourth event. You can do a fourth individual event. So there's some really technical nuances to that make it really exciting. Their Division II championship meet is going to feel like our state meets on steroids. Like the excitement, they're fun, super energetic, positive events, things like that. They're really, really a good experience. What I found in Division II level that was really interesting, there's a lot more flexibility in kind of how the programs were able to run things. But it created a lot more intimacy within the school. Like I know our kids at Queens were really close to their professors. They were even going to meals with them, things like that, like as part of their classes, where you wouldn't get that at a big, larger school per se. So I just was blown away by the experience the kids had was really, really powerful because it was a lot more intimate. It was obviously a much smaller budget. So we did things a lot differently. Like on a Christmas training trip, for example, we cooked breakfast for the whole team in our pool. Like they come out of the pool, we've got a griddle out, we're cooking. It made for some really awesome memories and some like really cool experiences, but it was just different than what you would do otherwise. But it was fantastic. I will say the championship meet and the conference meets, if you're excited about, like, if you liked high school states around Florida, you would love Division II. Like that is like the energy there is just phenomenal in terms of how those meets go.
Agreed. And that fourth event, distance swimmers, is the 1,000.
Yes.
Just FYI. So those of you that love the 1,000.
Yes.
And is there not a 100 IM now too?
There is 100 IM at dual meets. Yes. So yeah. So real quick, again, I know we're kind of brushing through this and we'll move kind of the fit to like the next talk, which is fine, like not a big deal. But can we talk real briefly again about Division III schools, like the super academic experience that you're going to see at Division III, Ivy Leagues, and the military academies?
So these are schools, again, the idea is keep a level playing field. So the reason they're in that category is so that you have a like-minded group of schools and coaches that are competing against each other, not so that you have lesser resources, so to speak, or lesser people, right? The goal is that you're creating, and there's been some national teamers, Olympians that have come out of Division III schools every year. So that not that you can't swim really, really fast. It's that these schools are very specific for people that want a very targeted academic experience. And Naval Academy is a good example, right? Obviously, it's a very different pathway. It's not Division III, but it's that category of school. Some other schools, SCAD, I think out there, Emory, Kenyon, these schools their academic programs are very targeted as to a certain type of person they're looking for. And they can be, again, the goal is to find somewhere you thrive. If those are types of places that you can thrive in their academic program, their teams are just as immersive as anywhere else. But they are going to offer a lot more off time in the summers. They're going to have an off season. They're going to come and go a little bit in terms of their commitment level during the year, but they're doing that so that those students can go and do other things and be a little more balanced around the year as they kind of work through that.
Now, Jake, can you talk real quick about the Ivy League recruiting process? It's a little bit different and what they look for. I know you kind of went through that a little more personally, but
yeah, we tend to lump Ivy League similar to Division III only because Ivy League doesn't offer athletic scholarship either. However, they follow a very strict recruiting process. Number one, we all know Ivy League schools are very highly selective. They're hard to get into, and that is no different for their student athletes. So yes, a recruited student athlete can have support through the admissions process from the coach that they're being recruited by. That does not mean that you still need those high academic standards. So they're looking for exceptional GPAs, exceptional test scores. With those high standards, the coach then can offer a little bit of support through admissions, but you still have to get into that school. There tends to be high inter-school competition for those recruits, because the same recruit that's looking at a Harvard is probably also exploring Princeton and Yale, and they're going after the same kids. So the selectivity through the recruiting process, you'll see some pretty hardcore competition between those schools to get you to commit to them. But that's only because they know that they're competing against their bitter rivals. So it's just important to understand that when you're looking at that type of school, the process is going to feel maybe a little bit more sped up and a little bit more pressure, because there's a lot that rests on your shoulders in terms of academics.
Yep, absolutely. And they have moved that along. It used to be when they made the adjustment to the junior year, it used to be they waited until junior year. This does actually start the second semester of your junior year, instead of just your senior year and focusing just on your senior year. They are starting that in your junior year, and athletes are expected to commit the summer after their junior year. So realize it does move a little bit slower. Division III recruiting does move a little bit slower. So understand they're looking at those grades and that first semester junior year grades and some test scores before they really start recruiting you, because of the high academic expectations at that level. And Division III is, yeah.
I think to wrap this up, I think it's really important that we go back to the idea that there is a place for anybody to swim. We really encourage this as an experience because we know the value of swimming. You get a team of people around you. You have a coach that's going to check in on you. You've got something that's going to hold you accountable and move you through. Not to mention the physical benefits of just being part of a sport through college. We really want everybody to find a spot that is willing to do something. That being said, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. And it's okay if it's not for you, because there is an expectation that you enjoy swimming and you want to swim and you want to work really hard at it. Be a part of your team, be focused on what you're doing and work hard at it. If you're not willing to do that, or you not want to do that, then it's not going to be a good fit no matter what. None of these schools are going to come in and shower you with magic pixie dust to say, make you excited. You have to bring the excitement to them. And it doesn't matter what level you're at, what division you're at, what school, what performance level you're at. It's really like they're looking for people that want to work hard and be great swimmers. So part of the challenge you get started in this process is not looking at what these schools are going to bring to you, but what are you going to bring to these schools, right? What do you have to offer this program? What do you have what are you excited to bring every day to their pool deck, to their classrooms, to their meets, as a person, as a student athlete? So I think when you look at it that way, it starts to shift a little bit how you see it. But it is so easy to start this process thinking about what am I going to get out of this experience when it's really about what you're going to put into it. So I think there's a place for everybody, but it's not for anybody, right? So I guess it's really important to differentiate that.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Next talk, we'll talk a little bit more about things to consider when you're looking at that fit, but you'll see that in another week. Thanks.
All right, do you hit the recording button?
What? Huh? I can't find it. Hang on.